Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as you are able for the processional.
All right, let's celebrate. Yes, yes. We're going to celebrate these graduates. We give these graduates a big round of applause. Here we go. Let's go. Yes. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. If you cheer more for the Atlanta Braves than you do today, we're going to be here all night. And Derek Schiller has to get to a baseball game, so you better start cheering, okay? All right, let's give it up again for these graduates. There we go. That's better. That's better. Well, ladies and gentlemen, would you please be seated? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael Shannon, and I have the incredible honor of serving as the president of the University of North Georgia. And again, I reminded you of the rules, so let's make sure we celebrate. This is a celebration today. Welcome to the best day ever. We say that boldly and we mean it. Ladies and gentlemen, today is more than a graduation. It's a celebration of transformation, of arrival, of purpose. This afternoon, we recognize graduates from the Mike Cottrell College of Business, the College of Science and Mathematics. Yeah, there's a little science math, there's some love there. Go ahead, give it up for the STEM College, come on. And the Lewis F. Rogers Institute for Environmental and Spatial Analysis. Yeah, there's some energy from IESA, I love it. Colleges and programs that sit at the crossroads of innovation, of analytics, and of impact. Ladies and gentlemen, these graduates are the problem solvers, the future forward thinkers, the ones who will build what comes next, whether in boardrooms, research laboratories, or the landscapes and data shaping of our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, the University of North Georgia is many things. We are a powerhouse of public higher education, a place where Fulbrights and Gilmans and many other scholars are produced at scale. We are the Military College of Georgia and the Army Senior Military College. Yeah, there's some love there. Give it up. And we are home to the nation's top Division II NCAA athletics program. Yeah, some love for athletics. I like that. But at its heart, the University of North Georgia is a proving ground for potential, a home for those driven not by prestige, but by purpose. It's where legacy meets launch. You see, ladies and gentlemen, at North Georgia, we are not in the business of selling degrees. We are in the business of shaping courageous, purpose-driven leaders, people ready to meet this moment in history with grit, with service, and with impact. You may have heard us talk about building a university that doesn't exist yet. Because here at the University of North Georgia, this isn't just higher education, it's higher purpose. And higher purpose is not handed to you, it's earned. And that's exactly as it should be. College isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to change you. It's supposed to stretch you, prepare you to do hard things. Because, ladies and gentlemen, life demands you to do hard things. Today marks the culmination of the hard work of these graduates, sleepless nights and relentless resilience. But it's also the start of something even bigger. Graduates, for right now, I want you to enjoy this moment. You've earned every bit of this celebration. And yo, y'all, we're going to have a big old party here in Dahlonega, Georgia, all right? Yeah, I need your help. Derek, they're going to cheer more for the Braves. We'll have to get to, anyway. Commencement is our most cherished tradition, the high watermark of the University of North Georgia experience. For many, today marks a first in their family to graduate. A personal milestone ripples outward to transform entire communities. I know the power of this moment personally because I too am the first in my family to attend college, and I am the only one in my family to earn a college degree. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, and graduates here today, what you've achieved here today will change everything. Not just for you, but for everyone who comes after you, your children and your children's children. To the family members, friends, and mentors here today, I want to personally say thank you. You carried emotional loads, solved impossible problems, and you believed in these graduates even when they may have doubted themselves. This is your triumph too, and I want to celebrate you. Congratulations, families. Graduates, your academic regalia isn't just tradition, it's a declaration. You've joined a long line of thinkers, builders, defenders, and dreamers. You've earned your seat in that legacy, and the privilege of wearing these robes is forever yours. And I want to say to you, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, as is our tradition at the University of North Georgia, we begin this day by honoring the country we are called to serve. As you are able, will you please join me and stand for the singing of our national anthem, performed by one of our amazing students, Caroline Barron. Faculty, staff, and graduates, you may keep on your tams and mortar boards. Ladies and gentlemen, let's honor America with the national anthem.
What so proudly we hailed at the Please be seated. Good afternoon. I'm Shadron Gilles, and it is my honor as the Provost to join with President Shannon in welcoming you to today's ceremony. UNG is proud to be designated as a state leadership institution, where leadership development isn't just a program. It's woven into the very fabric of everything that we do. Our commitment is clear: to help you graduate, not just with knowledge, but with character, guided by the values of excellence, student focus, integrity, engagement, and service. Leadership expert John Maxwell says, "A leader is one who knows the way, who goes the way, and shows the way." You, our graduates, have done exactly that. Whether it was in the classroom, in service to your communities, or through the challenges of recent years, you've demonstrated resilience, teamwork, and a commitment to lead with integrity. We are incredibly proud of the leaders that you have become. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce one of your peers who embodies these qualities. Our student speaker this afternoon is Sarah Miller, graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Science in Biology. Sarah is a native of Blue Ridge, Georgia. She began her journey at UNG as a dual-enrolled student in high school, and she has since thrived as a student researcher, a residential assistant, and a campus leader. One of her mentors said of Sarah, she's one of the most outstanding research students they had seen in their 21-year career. This fall, Sarah will continue her academic journey in a PhD program at Georgia State University, bringing with her humility, curiosity, and academic excellence that have defined her time at UNG. Would you please help me welcome this afternoon's speaker, Sarah Miller.
I began my college career like any other squirrely 18-year-old kid, thoroughly convinced I knew what I was doing. I wanted to be a physical therapist, like my dad, and a degree in biology was only a means to an end. It may surprise you, seeing me proudly represent the scientific community on behalf of this graduating class of brilliant students, but I didn't always like science. Horrible as it sounds, I thought it was made up of either irrelevant facts or vacillating conjecture. I didn't see the point in asking questions we may never know the answer to, and frankly, I didn't understand why some were dissatisfied with the ignorance I found blissful. But all of that began to change when I came to the University of North Georgia. Slowly, through learning from passionate professors, working with world-class, and I mean world-class, faculty, and pursuing this university's unparalleled opportunities, I fell in love with the scientific method. I began not only to understand the spirit of a scientist, but to recognize it as my kindred. I discovered that I, too, was curious. I was passionate. I was hungry for knowledge. I found that the universe is a gift of discovery, which continues infinitely in every direction. Inwardly, we are organisms made up of organs, made up of tissues, made up of cells, molecules, atoms, subatomic particles, and so it continues. Outwardly, you can begin with a single particle and work your way out until you cannot count the galaxies. Each level holds thousands of questions that need answers, and as I continued through my studies, I realized I was being equipped to find those answers. Thus, I came to understand science as it truly was, a world of exploration and discovery, method and observation, humble ignorance, and the desire to know more. Ultimately, the search for truth. Maybe you, like me, once thought there was no truth that still needed finding. Maybe you think that there is no way to find it. Maybe you think that there is no truth at all. To that, I can only say that I have seen the power of truth. I have seen how true discoveries treat patients and build rockets. I have seen the pursuit of truth unify nations and vanquish the evils of our forefathers. Perhaps even greater, because it is the building block of all of these great accomplishments. I have seen how a true word spoken in kindness can have life-changing effects. If I had not had a teacher who called me curious, a friend who called me passionate, and a family who called me good, I would never have realized who I was made to be, a discoverer of truth. I submit to you then that truth exists, that it is resilient to twisting, and that it becomes apparent to those who seek it. I say further that science, in its highest form, is truth-seeking, but so is art, language, mathematics, and every other conceivable field of study. I know that this commencement ceremony has the privilege of honoring entrepreneurs, financiers, and accountants, as well as scientists. I do not wish to overlook you or the fascinating work you have ahead of you. I think you will agree with me that there is as much opportunity for discovery in the complex, ever-changing economical world as there is in the scientific one, and also just as much responsibility. As you leave here to go transform the corporate world, remember that finding what is true and holding fast to it provides the foundation that will allow us to build the future. We are all then truth seekers in a world that is bewildering. Our tools are thus eyes to see, ears to hear, and feet to pursue. Therefore, I send you out, my former peers and now my dear colleagues, charging you with the highest purpose of university and the last commandment of God, to discover truth and to share it. Thank you and congratulations.
Well, thank you, Sarah. You, Sarah, are an outstanding representative today, which is the best day ever. And I just want to say you're an example of what we produce here at North Georgia. And I am very, very grateful for you sharing. And if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, both Sarah's mom and her dad are Nighthawks. So she comes from a long family of Nighthawks. And the other thing that I'm very proud of is your journey started on our Blue Ridge campus. And really proud of you. Congratulations. Will you give Sarah one more round of applause? Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinct privilege to introduce you to our keynote speaker today. At the University of North Georgia, we believe education is more than the pursuit of knowledge. It's the pursuit of purpose. It's about building not just careers, but callings. Whether through data, discovery, design, or leadership, our students in the Mike Cottrell College of Business, the College of Science and Mathematics, and the Institute for Environmental and Spatial Analysis are shaping the systems that shape our world. Today's speaker is a testament to how purpose can evolve and how the skills you develop in one discipline can translate to leadership in another. Derek Schiller began his career studying to be an engineer and actually received his degree in civil engineering. In a journey that was long and challenging, today, Derek serves as President and Chief Executive Officer of an organization you may have heard of, the Atlanta Braves. Hey, you got some Braves fans out here, Derek. Derek leads one of the most iconic brands in sports and in America, and one of the most innovative organizations in the entertainment industry. Now in his 22nd season with the Braves, Schiller oversees every aspect of the Braves' business and ballpark operations, from corporate strategy to guest experience, from brand vision to community impact. His path from the analytical rigor of engineering to the dynamic world of sports, and especially baseball, is proof, graduates, that your starting point doesn't define your destination. What matters is your ability to adapt, to lead with vision, and to always innovate forward. Graduates, whether you're launching a startup, conducting research, managing data, or mapping the environment, Mr. Schiller's story is a reminder that what you're really building is capacity. This capacity to think critically, lead confidently, and rise to challenges that you can't even yet imagine. Ladies and gentlemen, Derek is a visionary who leads one of the most vibrant and emotional brands in Georgia and in all of America. Today, he takes time to be here with us to reflect on his journey. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please join me in welcoming someone who exemplifies agility, leadership, and higher purpose in action, the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Atlanta Braves, and my good friend, Derek Schiller.
You know, before I get going, when Sarah spoke, President Shannon came back to me and said, you know, she's a lot smarter than you. And I said, you know, that's obvious. I don't know what took you that much to figure that out, but thank you for inviting me here. Good afternoon, graduates, faculty, families, and friends. Before I get going, just a little bit of a reflection on this whole procedure here. This is my first commencement speech, and I'm a little nervous about it, and so what I did was I went and I Googled great commencement speeches, and I said, what are the great ones out there? And, you know, a lot of speeches came up. One of the ones that was the most watched, and perhaps some of you have even gone to YouTube and seen it, I encourage you to do so, is Steve Jobs, you know, the founder and builder of Apple. Well, Steve Jobs addressed the 2005 graduating class of Stanford University. And it just so happened that last week at a Braves game, I was hosting a friend of mine who was in that graduating class. And so I was sitting there going, hey, I just saw this great YouTube, Steve Jobs, and, you know, I was expecting him to give me some insight into this whole commencement speech and types of things that I should talk to you about. And ironically, his name's J.T. Baston. He's the CEO of USA Soccer. He's a great guy, and he told me I could use his name here today. Ironically, he gets interviewed by the paper. The paper that day, they were pulling aside some graduates and said, what do you think of Steve Jobs' commencement speech? And J.T. said it, at least it wasn't long. So with that, I'm going to have a lot in common with Steve Jobs today, and that might be the only thing that I have in common with Steve Jobs today. Thank you again, President Shannon, for the honor to speak to the class of 2025. I'm humbled to sit here before you, stand here before you, and spend just a few minutes before you get your diplomas. Today is about you, and while I will be short, as the leader of a sports team, as President Shannon said, it does take a team for you all to be here today, and I see a lot of members of that team sitting around this auditorium here, and I know without some of you faculty, friends, family, you all sitting out there probably wouldn't get to this point, so I know at the conclusion of today's event, give them a big hug. They meant a lot to you, and a lot of these people are sitting out there, and in addition to having to do all the things that they're doing, they're also enduring sitting here listening to me speak today. Listen, the other thing that I'll tell you is I have a little extra special reflection of today because a few days ago I was out there in the crowd like many of you. I had my daughter graduate from college, and so I know a lot of the emotions that you are all going through, and I went through those very recently, so I can relate to each of you. But today, graduates, it's about you, and you need to realize today is a beginning. It's not an end. To continue with my baseball analogies, you are probably in about the second or third inning of your game. Now your parents are sitting up there. They're just glad that you're out of that teenage innings, like I was very happy that my kids were out of their teenage innings. But my journey started a lot like yours, going to college. And I entered college with that conquer the world feeling, but having no idea what the world really was. And so here I was going to college, and I started out like any college student would do. I went to my party. Went to a party, and I conquered the party, and I think this is what college is all about. Well, lo and behold, I did get to start some studying as well. I started school with a degree as a graduate, or an intention to graduate with a degree in chemistry. And I did so because my dad was a chemistry major. My dad actually got a PhD in chemistry, eventually taught chemistry, and so I'm following my dad's footsteps. It didn't work out exactly the right way. I got through about a year of that, and I decided it wasn't right for me, so I changed my major. I ended up applying to the School of Engineering, and I pursued a degree in civil and environmental engineering, which is what I ultimately got my degree in. Took me about 4.5 years to do that. And I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I thought an engineering degree was going to give me the pathway to have a direct way to get a job. And that's exactly what happened. I got out of school, and I got a job right away. Had actually a couple offers, so I was pretty excited and pretty proud of myself. There I was, graduating college with a job in hand, and I immediately accepted a job in Atlanta and went to work right there in Atlanta, thinking, this is it. You know, my journey's beginning. I know exactly what's going to happen. I got my job. I got my degree. Here I go. I'm on my path. And I was getting paid some money, so I was like, all right, I'm gainfully employed. I've done what I'm supposed to do, right? Well, not long after, I met a girl, dated her. She seemed to like me, even though I was a little bit nerdy, had that engineer thing going on. But here's where my first lesson comes in, is I realized shortly after that period of time that I was not destined to be an engineer. In fact, I realized a couple of things about it. Number one, I didn't really like it. And number two, and by the way, all due respect to any of the engineers out there, engineering's great, right? I'm glad the world has engineers, but I didn't like it. Number two, more importantly, is I realized I wasn't good at it. And so therein was my first strikeout. There I was, spent all that time getting my degree, all that work trying to get to that job, and I struck out right off the bat. And I wasn't very good at it. It was my first failure right out of school. So I was trying to figure out what to do with my life, and I decided to pursue a job in sports. And it was right around the time that the Olympics were coming to Atlanta, just before '96. My dad was in the Air Force, but got involved in the sports business in his career and later in life. And so I was surrounded by sports, not just playing sports, but also just the business side of sports. So I used that knowledge and some connections to get a job that was affiliated with a project associated with the 1996 Olympic Games. My first break, I'll call it an infield single. Wasn't the job for me forever, but it was something. My next big hit came when I went to a cocktail reception a little bit after the Olympic Games, and at that cocktail reception was George Steinbrenner. For those of you who don't know who George Steinbrenner is, was the former owner of the New York Yankees. His family still owns it. Hal Steinbrenner runs the Yankees today. And George was a very intimidating person. In fact, if you've ever watched a Seinfeld episode, they characterize George in the Seinfeld episodes. Well, no one would go up and talk to George at this cocktail reception. And I said, you know what, I'm going to take a swing. I'm going to go talk to George, Mr. Steinbrenner. So I went up there and started talking to Mr. Steinbrenner. And lo and behold, he started telling me a little bit about his business and a little bit of the issues involving his business. And what I decided to do was I was going to give him my opinion. I was taking a swing. I was giving him my strong opinion on what I thought he should do. The owner of the New York Yankees, I'm telling him what I think he should do. And he said, you know what, Derek, I actually like those ideas. Why don't you write me a paper, and I'll see if I like it. I did. And he ended up calling me after getting this and said, you know what, Derek, I want you to come work for me. It's my first professional sports team job. Now here's where things got kind of interesting. Remember that girl I mentioned a few minutes ago? Well, we got married, and we were only married for about a year at that point in time. And when George offered me the job, I said yes right away. Well, I went home and I told my wife, I was pretty excited. I said, I just accepted a job with the New York Yankees. She said, we live in Atlanta. I said, yeah. She's like, the New York Yankees. And I said, yeah. Sort of think you should actually ask your wife before you do these things. But anyway, she asked me what my title was. She asked me how much I was making. She asked me who all were reporting to me, what the job was. And I said, I don't have answers to any of that. I took a job without knowing how much I was going to make, without knowing anything, including in a different city, and I didn't know any of those issues, but I said, you know, this is an opportunity for me to take a risk, to take a swing. And when I got there, George decided to put me in charge of a lot of aspects of the New York Yankees. I was 27 years old. He's a guy that liked to take risks, and so did I. I was now taking what I would consider to be pretty big swings in life. Which brings me to my second piece of advice for you. Be willing to take risks. Calculated risks. Not jump off a bridge risks, but calculated risks. Risks filled with knowledge that you've learned here at this institution. Let your accomplishments guide you. Take a big swing and see what might happen. So I'm going to speed things up a little bit. I came back to Atlanta to help run the NHL team that was here. And that was also a risk, leaving the New York Yankees, a very well-known brand, to come here to Atlanta, down the street, and run an NHL team, which was just beginning. But again, another big swing. Well, fast forward several years, 22 years later actually, or 22 years ago, I was offered and took my first role with the Atlanta Braves. Well, I'll go back to you on this, though. Let's draw some parallels. Risks and failures are all part of this story. And I would bet you, if you look around this audience today, you talk to your parents, you talk to the faculty, your friends, every single person here has had failures. Life is about failing, but you also have to take the risk to do it. You know, Wayne Gretzky, I grew up playing hockey. Wayne Gretzky is one of my favorite athletes. And he's got a quote that's oftentimes used. I love it, so I'm going to use it again here today. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You know, to use that in a baseball analogy, think about hitting in a game. You go up to bat. The greatest baseball players on the planet are going to get a hit about 1 out of every 3 or 4 times they go up to bat, which means they're failing 2 or 3 times they go up to bat. Pretty incredible. So there you are. You're watching your favorite player. He goes up to bat. Maybe the bases are loaded. You're down by a few runs. And what happens? He strikes out. What does the player do? Well, he gets pissed off, okay? Truth be told. And I'm close enough when I sit where I sit, where, yeah, I can hear some colorful language coming out of him. Might break a bat or something like that. But at the end of all of that, he gets on with it. Runs out to the field, plays his position, and he returns. And later in the game, using some of the knowledge that he might have, watching that pitcher, how he approached him, bases loaded again, guess what happens? Maybe, just maybe, he gets that hit, the Atlanta Braves win the baseball game, right? Which brings me to some closing thoughts. Greatness. Greatness. I've already talked about the great one, so I won't do that. But I want to challenge each of you to have greatness. I had the good fortune of knowing Hank Aaron very well. He had an office right next to mine. Got a chance to sit with him many times. And Hank was, if you don't know, Hank was the greatest player to ever play the game. I know I'm biased, but that is the truth, and I think everybody in this arena will hopefully agree with me on that. We'd sit and talk about all kinds of things, and Hank's story is legendary, so I don't want to go into the story of Hank Aaron per se, but when Hank was going towards that record, the home run record that Babe Ruth had, 715 runs, or 715 home runs. Everybody, it seemed like, was cheering for Babe Ruth to keep that record. Everybody liked Babe Ruth. Everybody liked those records, it seemed. And yet Hank kept persevering. He kept swinging because he loved to do it, because he wanted to succeed, because he wanted the team to win. It was a choice. And in my opinion, the choice that he was making, Hank was trying to be great. That's what he was choosing. He wanted greatness. Now, we can't all be Hank Aaron. Can't all do what Hank did on the field. But your choice to come to this school has helped you with your goal. So you're closer as you sit here today. By the way, the keep swinging that Hank would do, go to the All-Star game this year if you're watching the All-Star game. The day before is the Home Run Derby. They give the plaque, the medallion for the Home Run Derby participant. On that medallion, it says, keep swinging. May not have a medallion for you today, but I hope you guys all keep swinging. So in honor of Hank Aaron, some of you may want to be a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant. Some of you may want to make $1 million. Some of you are going into the military and you want to achieve a certain rank, lead people. By the way, very commendable. My dad was 23 years Air Force, so I know what that a lifestyle is like. All of you, I hope, go back into your communities. All of you, at some point in time, you go back into your communities and you do something to make them better. And no matter what you do, think about what your goal is. What do you want to be great in? What are you willing to risk to go get it? So, a quick aside. For the Atlanta Braves, what's our goal? Our goal is to win the World Series. We last did it in 2021. And President Shannon, if you'll indulge me just a second, a quick story about 21 Atlanta Braves. Won the World Series that year, of course. But if you go back one series before the World Series, National League Championship Series, we're playing the Los Angeles Dodgers. On paper, the Dodgers are a better team. There we were, playing the Dodgers. Some of you may have been watching or at this game. We get to the 7th inning. They get guys on, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Tyler Matzik, an unheralded, probably not very well-known guy, proceeds to come in. Tough situation for him. The heart of the Dodgers lineup is up. He proceeds to strike out the side, goes back into the 8th, strikes enough guys out. We get through the 7th and 8th. We're still winning the game. Arguably, it's the key to the entire 21 season. And what I would dare tell you is Tyler Matzik in that moment was daring and choosing to be great. He was taking the risk to do so. Being a little bit just irreverent, Tyler Matzik came into the clubhouse. This has not been told before, I'm sorry. President Shannon, I apologize in advance, but he came into the clubhouse after that Dodgers moment, and his teammates all came around him, and they were cheering, and they go, Tyler, oh my God. And I can't repeat verbatim what they said to him, but basically said, Tyler, oh my gosh, you have got the biggest eyeballs of anyone we have ever seen. Okay, some of you get that. You sit here today with that same choice, and in many ways much bigger than Tyler Matzik's moment. You've done the work. You didn't do everything perfect. I didn't, you didn't, it's clear. And you may have already chosen a path, but that path may be the wrong one, and you're going to have to pivot, and you're going to have to take some risks. You're going to have to take some swings. And I'm encouraging you, put yourself in that position, take the big swing, and be great. Now, this is normally the place that I'm going to stop. And you're probably saying, Derek, it's time to get off the stage. But I offered to President Shannon in this school, and particularly this graduating class, to have one more final comment to you. Well, here's the way you wrap up a commencement speech. Take a look around, graduates. Take a look around. Look to your left, look to your right, behind you, in front of you. My guess is you've developed some pretty good friends in this class. My guess is over the 4 years here, you guys have gotten some relationships with the people that are on this floor with you today. And one of the things I didn't talk about is the importance of friendships. Because I think you probably already know that. But I would say one of the things that I'd like to do for you is I want to make sure that your friendships continue to get built. And so for the graduating class of 2025, I'm going to offer each and every one of you a ticket to an Atlanta Braves game. So here's my request, though. Come down. You don't all have to come to the same game. You pick your friends, you pick the game. There's going to be an email that comes out from the school. You'll opt into it. We'll figure out how to get the tickets to you. It's a process the President and I have already worked out. And just spend some time with some friends. And while you're doing so, my hope is that you think about your choice to be great. Congratulations, keep swinging. Greatness is a choice.
Thank you, Mr. Schiller, for your message and the Braves tickets for our graduates. Your words were insightful, inspiring, and exactly what the graduates needed to hear. At UNG, we believe education is a team effort, and your faculty here, they are your mentors, your coaches, they are catalysts. Would you please join me in thanking our faculty for their wisdom, their patience, and their commitment to our graduates. And now we're going to recognize greatness, our students, graduates who have gone above and beyond, who have shown academic brilliance, military distinction, and character-driven excellence. The names of these students are listed in your programs, and they'll be recognized individually as they receive their diplomas. So I'm going to ask that you hold your applause until we finish each group. Will the baccalaureate students who are graduating summa cum laude please stand and remain standing? These students have earned a grade point average between a 3.90 and a 4.0 on a 4.0 scale. Will our baccalaureate students who are graduating magna cum laude please stand and remain standing? These students have earned a grade point average between a 3.70 and a 3.89 on a 4.0 scale. Will our baccalaureate students who are graduating cum laude please stand and remain standing? These students have earned a grade point average between a 3.50 and a 3.69 on a 4.0 scale. And will all of our associate students who are graduating with distinction please rise and remain standing? These students have earned a grade point average of a 3.50 or higher on a 4.0 scale. Let us congratulate these graduates on their outstanding achievements. Thank you, and you may be seated. Members of our Corps of Cadets who ranked in the top 20% of nearly 6,000 cadets on the Army's National Order of Merit list will graduate as distinguished military graduates. This is the highest honor an ROTC student can achieve. This year, UNG has 14 distinguished military graduates, 5 of whom also ranked in the top 10% nationally. Will our distinguished military graduates please stand and remain standing? The UNG Honors Program cultivates a community of engaged scholars who have demonstrated excellence in academics, service, and leadership. Completion of the honors program includes involvement in activities outside the classroom and service to the institution and the local community. Will all graduates who are members of the honors program please stand and remain standing? All right. And now, our academic honors societies recognize students who have excelled both academically and as leaders among their peers. Will all graduates who are members of university and departmental academic honors societies please stand? Let's give one more big round of applause for all of these students and their achievements. You may be seated. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, it is time to confer the degrees. In this ceremony, we honor students from the Mike Cottrell College of Business, the College of Science and Math, and the Institute for Environmental and Spatial Analysis. A powerful intersection of innovation, of analytics, and real-world application, from marketing and management to biology, physics, and cybersecurity, from the building blocks of the natural world to the forces that shape our economy and environment. These graduates have been equipped to solve tomorrow's challenges with precision and with creativity. Will all candidates for the associate's degrees please stand? Dr. Shannon, I present to you the candidates for the associate degrees. Each of these candidates has successfully completed the requirements for the degree as set forth by the faculty, and I recommend them to you for the conferral of their degrees.
Provost, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, 45% of Americans have an associate's degree, so this is a big deal, and we are incredibly proud of these three graduates today. Are you ready, graduates? The moment you've been waiting for a very long time. Ladies and gentlemen, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, I award to these graduates the associate degree, with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining, and I welcome these graduates to the company of scholars. Graduates, please move your tassels from right to left. And ladies and gentlemen, would you give it up for our associate graduates?
Please be seated. And now, will the candidates for all bachelor's degrees please stand? President Shannon, I present to you the candidates for the bachelor's degree. Each of these candidates has completed the requirements of the degree as set forth by the faculty, and I recommend them to you for the conferral of their degrees.
Thank you, Provost, for your work and for the work of the faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, 37% of Americans have a bachelor's degree. So you are looking at a small group of people who have accomplished a very hard thing. Graduates, are you ready? Let's get some love here. Come on. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, I award to these graduates the bachelor's degree, with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining, and I welcome you graduates to the company of scholars. Graduates, please move your tassels from right to left, and ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for our bachelor's graduates.
You may be seated. We will now call the graduates forward to be recognized individually. I'd like to invite the commencement team to take their positions to announce the graduates. Marshals, please lead the graduates forward.
Owen Edward Culp. Eladia Denisia Loarca. Catherine Grace Woodrow. Hannah Claire Judd. Liliana dos Santos Pinto. Allie J. Lester. Jordan Olivia Henley. Michaela M. Ransom. Danae Diedericks. Herlinda Orduno Hernandez. Nathan Ezekiel Rademacher. Juan Manuel Aldaco Jr. Brittany Amparo Casas. Bailey Ann Seymour. Sandy Andres T. Bridgman. Christina Del Rio. Victor Tam Pham. Anna Elizabeth Flores. Amelia Riley Hutchison. William Garrison Barton. Zachary Gordon Buchan. Andre Javares Beverly Jr. Zachary Ryan Mundy. Darius Clint Dixon. Emily Lauren Cheek. Evelyn Lizette Lazaro. James Marshall Hicks. Christian Solis. Nasa Cruz. Colby Thomas Shoemate. Grant Aries Smith. Robert Singleton Holt. Joshua Patrick Helms. Luke Connolly Atwood. Jacob Forrest Herron. Jacob Hugh Bedsole. Jack Edward Cookie. Kevin Timothy Terry. Bryson Scott Sisson. Alexander Tapia. Second Lieutenant Charles Scott Forbes. Second Lieutenant Justin Perry Howard. Esteban Adolfo Salazar. Jonathan Lee Moon. Matthew James Fields. Mason Riley Bicknell. Davis Michael Ziegler. Catherine Lily Foodman. Casey Edward Ammon. Raul Bolanos. James Austin Gaines. Clayton James Huff. Walker Tate Passano. Danny B. Mucho. Monica Mukala Mputu. Evan William Cantrell. Hua Tao. Joshua Powell. Jasmine Janae Lee. Melissa Jael Lopez. Lillian McKenzie Riley. Kaylee E. Adams. Anela Eminovich. Liam Anakin Wilson. Travis Miguel Torres. Maximus Joseph Mathis.
Ethan Oke Olaoluwasumi.
Sutton D. Smith. Paul Hughes Threlkeld Jr. Ellie Kate Rippey. Carly Grace Fahey. Bernadette Grace. Isabella Jacob. Max Furman G. Shaylin Maiko Jones. Annabelle Christine Nestor. Second Lieutenant Aidan Kane Crawford. Joseph Clay Turner. Charlie Lathan Heisler. Alex Randall Zipfel. Tyran Krzysztof Wisniewski. Danielle Marie Ferguson. Emerus Nicole Jarrett. Ryan Louise Gaston. Jackson Lee Culpepper. Owen Bailey Moss. Benito Lee Peeger. Cadence Rose Smith. Walter John Carter Cooper. Brandon Scott Outler. Garrett Travis Thomas. Gabriel Alexander Prokes. Sarah Renee Bennett. Michaela Ann Manes Lucina. Charles Kenneth Basinger. Second Lieutenant Joshua Mitchell Murray. Tyler Christian Morgan. Anna Page Graham. Bailey Alexandra Culver. Carolina Caetano Hayes. Mary Jane Cook. Vanessa Contreras Medrano. Hoke James Wade. Tanner Elijah Hinchliff. Cass James Petrie. Chelsea Brooke Reed. Ansley Nicole Hartman. Second Lieutenant Colton Hunter Rowe. Second Lieutenant Garrett Logan Parker. Julius Mauritz Alexander Pettersson. Angelo Luca Mione. Brandon Kyle Line. Carter Michael Cady. Eva Darlene Cook. Jolie Karen Lester. Dixie Lee Williams. Tanner Smith Knott. Ethan Patrick Brown. Jake Brentson Tiller. Charles Harrison Turner. Jalen N. Ross. Jennifer Gobble. Forrest B. Todd. Wilbur Anderson Mejia. Sade Kanika Bell. Angela Crystal Orea Elizondo. Brooklyn Page Converse. Zoe Olivia Robin. Macy Jean Duke. Maggie Elaine Shields. Logan Tayoka Fossum. Kelsey Corbin Reed. Lydia Marina Wester. Mackenzie Noel Smith. Devin Denise Parsley. Lainey Amelia Painter. Annalie D. Boyles. Elizabeth Jordan Wilder. Bailey Morgan Love. Aiden Curtis Samuel Bell. Hartley Doran Twiggs. D. Harrington Smith. Sarah Grace Hua Henderson. Shelby Anna Calamusa. Spencer Wilson Ernest.
James Cole Pearson,
Tyler David Zipfel, Carmela Rain Santoriello, Jada Page Wall, Elizabeth Grace Overstreet, Katarina Carolyn Levens, Mackenzie Gianna Renee Dye, Grace Dormany Pruitt, Lindsay Eaton Harrell, Max Tran, Santino Miguel Sangsun, Marisol Cano, Grace Anna Brockler, Jessica Eve Hall, Miles Alexander Foreman, Lily Claire Petty, Caitlin Rose Vasquez Rice, Kyle Jameson Shockley, Claudia Edith Espana, Michael Elizabeth Fruits, Jaylee Isabel Burdette, Emily Cecilia Johnston, Danielle E. Geyer, Angelina Linikova, Coleman Coffee Connor, Lily Jane Chapman, Allison Elizabeth Nookles, Heather Michelle Hefner, Rachel Caitlin Vicknair, Isela Flores, Hannah Maria Santana, Andrew Mark Guilford, Alex Cameron Parkman, Daniel Jose Romero, Briley Madeline Pinkney, Edwin James Gall III, Eliana M. Gall, Carlos Roberto Niel, Caitlin Elizabeth Wilson, Michaela Elizabeth Hancock, Davis Brian Hagel. Jacob Ryan Guin. Brandon Mathieu Hall. Daniel Agustin Imperial. Christopher Alexander Dearborn. John Mark I. Foster. Vincent Truong. Wesley Clark Neal Jr. Daniel Scott Winsness. Noah Matthew Sylvester. Saul Almanzar Torres. Spencer Timothy Hudson. Crandon S. Oliver. Gabriel Richard Woolams. Isaac J. Janke. LeVar Yancey Martin. Grant Solomon Pingy May. Peyton William Jenkins. Caleb Christopher Busboom. Zachary Cademan Trotter. Enrique Krahembul. Thomas Bynum Loggins. Michael Brandon Contreras. Javier Tamayo. Christopher Jeremy Clay. Nicholas James Bernier. Samuel R. Rickey. Rishi Patel. Lane McKinley Meadows. Nathan William Lee. Alston Cole Frazier. Paxton Eric Meyer. Elijah J. Elliott. Trinity Hala Inriberry. Ian Mackenzie Bateman. Josiah Zychias Wilkins. Charles Noah Chapman. Zachary E. Daly. Levi John Clark Bohannon. Benjamin D. Head. Jake Emmett Fuller. Destiny Brooke Fountain. Taylor Austin Mobley. Seth Jameson Wood. Riley Madison Freeman. Kobe Alexander Cross. Luke Vandiver Knowles. Enoch Scott Johnson. Cameron Douglas Fitzgerald. Second Lieutenant Diego Alejandro Esqueda. Aiden Wesley Stewart. Tyler Damian Vaughn. Gabriel Alex Pless. John Anthony Curry. Charles Rogers Brown. Second Lieutenant Nicholas Whalen Marsteller. Second Lieutenant Connor Michael Moore. Isaac Coker. Mary Elizabeth Casas. Julian Ramon Lindsay. Robert Andrew Prilleman. Dominic Ethan Cooper. Garrett Wesley Grader. Grayson Riley Porras. Jack Wilson. Shelby Jane Doris Carlock. Ben Lee Kitchens. Alexander Xing Yin Mensil Webster. Tyler Michael Thiel. Smitnarishve Patel. Ashley Moynard. Second Lieutenant John Benjamin Robinson. James Cason League. Harrison Grant Lucker. George Spencer King. Sean Donald Cottrell. Jarrett Matthew Turner. Second Lieutenant Joseph Elijah DeSarli. Second Lieutenant Ian James Champion. Second Lieutenant Wyatt Udale Blunt. Scott T. Fitzgerald. Mauricio Americo Spadoni. Matthew Aaron Hernandez. George Caleb Jackson. Debbie Carranza. James Alexander Scott. Christy Nicole Gordon. Yvette Diosdado. Emily Danielle Humphrey. Sarah Elizabeth Miller. Noemi Leal Lara. John Anthony Watts. Madeline Elise Russell. Maxine Frederick LaFontaine. Dulce Maria Ruiz. Giselle Rosanna Gonzalez. July morning. Jewel Ina May Cabarle. Emily E. Bragg. Madeline Alexis Starkey. Elizabeth Lynn Taylor. Caitlin Michelle Timmons. Sydney Diane Hall. Victoria Michelle Swope. Ray Guareka. Brady Osvaldo Portillo. Gilbert J. Pruitt. Lainey Elizabeth Clark. Faith Nicole Tomac. Zoe Leanne Trent. Ariana Efa Montenegro Zamora Jr. Estrella Hernandez. Hannah Abigail Hudson. Ashley Nicole Thomas. Gabriella Nicole Pasiola. Matthew Paul Kelly. Sadie Rose Hines. Jacob Tyler Bartholomew. Ella Grace Wright. William Keith Grinstead. Morgan Sungbin Jin. Kathy Ampila Kaikum. Marcus Cole Tipton. Emily Caroline Madison. Kinsey Nicole Beatty. Miranda Kira Gardner. Gabriela Silvana Alfaro Oriana. Hannah Mae Barton. Noah Samuel Copeland. Anna Elise Myers. Taryn Tu. Mia Marie Nelson. Michaela Grace Folds. Angel Grace Scott. Madeline Lucille Gillespie. Roxana Chinchilla. Jesslyn Sari Kim. Second Lieutenant Jacob Dietrich Buchholz. Mary Grace Dickens. Savannah Kylie Dove. Audrey Elise Nesbitt. Alyssa Faith Pold. Angela Celeste Ayala. Amaranta Karina Cerna. Emma Elaine Hopper. Zoe Emma Ordway. Peyton Brooke Bussell. Anthony David Pena. Anthony William Saka. Connor Patrick Pendarvis. Audrey Lee Bink. Gabrielle Marie Niemczyk. Michael Isaias Guerrero. Tyler Aaron Simpson. Jenna Grace O'Neill. Riley Kate Rowland. Elijah Thomas Langston. Alexander James Christensen. Charles Caleb Cagle. Heather Jordan Holbrook. Sandra Rivas. Ethan Michael Cook. Caitlin Grace Vick. Guadalupe Reyes. Dagan Gabrielle Wasson. Brianna Coralie Andronicescu. Tanner Jimmy Harkin. Alexander David Smirowski. Casey Emmett Long. Lauren Elizabeth Newcomer. Riley Clara Rothschild. Maya Lynn Thomas. Samantha Lee Liss. Rachel Nurel Harris. Katie Lynn Gilreath. Ashley Savannah Ostertag. Sophie R. Redmond. Tiffany Hope Boswell. Manuel Zapata. Chenchi Yuan. Omar Johnson. Asia Linley Baohong Bettinger. Mariana Vasquez Valdez. David M. Olson. Ashley Rebecca Rogers. Jeremy Scott Poppy. Brianna Carrera. Alexis C. Pineda. Alec William Wade Reed. Alexandria K. Johnston. Hannah Elizabeth Yeagle. Sydney Lynn McDaniel. Harper Mitchell Cribbs. Alexander Wright Widener. Justin Thomas Kemp. Timothy Daniel Peters.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, just give it up one more time for these amazing graduates. Yes, let's go. Yes. Graduates, today was the best day ever. You made it. And graduates, we could not be more proud of you. But graduates, today isn't about closing a chapter. It's about stepping into what's next with boldness, with humility, and a slinky mindset. Stay curious. Stay ready. Stay unshakably you. And remember, this isn't goodbye. North Georgia is your forever home. North Georgia isn't just a place you come to for 4 years or 5 years or maybe 6 or 7 years. You know who you are. Doing hard things, right? North Georgia is a place that stands beside you for life, supporting you, equipping you, and celebrating you as you continue your journey. Today, you join a proud family of alumni who carry North Georgia with them wherever they go. In fact, I'd like to ask all University of North Georgia alumni in our audience today, will you please stand so that we can recognize you? Let's give it up for the alumni. I love it. I love it. Hey, graduates, look around. This is the family you are now a part of, a lifelong network of scholars, leaders, and change makers. This is your alma mater, a word in Latin which means nourishing mother. This is home. Come back often and let us cheer you on. Before we continue, we have a special part of our ceremony today, one of the most meaningful honors of our ceremony, the commissioning of second lieutenants into the United States Army. Yeah, let's give that up for that, absolutely. As one of only 6 congressionally designated senior military colleges in the United States and the Army's senior military college, the Corps of Cadets at the University of North Georgia is America's Corps. And America's Corps, ladies and gentlemen, isn't a program. It's a calling. It's a movement. It's a reset of what it means to serve something bigger than yourself. It's a place where young women and young men are shaped not by polish, but by purpose. Not by tradition, but by truth. Not by prestige, but by performance. And for 152 years, these impressive leaders continue a proud and unbroken legacy of service to our country. In a time today, ladies and gentlemen, when only 6% of Americans have raised their right hand to serve the nation, today you are going to see women and men who are saying, "Take me, I'll do it." Leaders who have been forged in the crucible of service to America, and where today we bestow upon them the honor and privilege to lead America's sons and daughters, the finest we have, the American soldier. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are commissioning 50 second lieutenants across our 3 undergraduate commencement ceremonies. Please join me in welcoming a North Georgia alum, Colonel Ed Bankston, who serves as our professor of military science, to conduct the commissioning ceremony for our graduates who are commissioning today into the United States Army. Colonel Bankston.
Thank you, President Shannon. I'm proud to be here with you all today as we continue the legacy of officer development here at the Army Senior Military College with America's Corps. At this time, all the graduating seniors who have earned a commission from the University of North Georgia, remove your cap and gowns, move to the front of the stage and face the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, as our commissionees move forward, I'd like to thank the UNG leadership and all of our amazing professors, faculty, and staff across this arena for the impact you've made on our cadets. Your investment in their lives and the education they've earned thanks to your efforts are embedded in them for life. You've made a profound difference in each and one of them and their future, and we thank you. The Army's motto is, "This will defend." These new officers you see standing before you, they're your sons, your daughters, your friends, and your loved ones. They each stand proud and prepared to assume their roles defending our freedoms, and fully recognizing that the protection of our way of life requires constant vigilance, as each generation inherits not only the rights and privileges of being an American, but also the responsibility of defending it. In the Army, we signify the responsibility of that with this oath. You need not look any further than current events to see the importance of this oath. We have multiple elements of our military deployed across the globe, protecting our freedoms, helping others, and keeping danger from our front door. There is no more important time than the present to produce leaders of character for our nation, and we are proud to present those officers you see standing before you today. The oath these officers will take signifies their commitment to defend the freedoms, values, and interests of our nation. This oath is not to a king, nor queen, or any type of sovereign nor political party. It is an oath to defend a collection of ideas at the very foundation of our nation, written down and enshrined in our Constitution. Lieutenants, you must understand this oath is sacred, as you may be asked to defend it with your life and the lives of the soldiers you will lead. This is an enduring commitment that starts today, one which I know you are ready to assume, and we wish you Godspeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I commit to you that these officers are ready to lead, and they will demonstrate the highest standards of character in defense of our nation. I would ask you all at this time, for our veterans, any of those currently serving in our military, as well as our first responders, firefighters, police, and EMTs, please stand with me and remain standing as I administer this oath. We thank you all for your service as well. Lieutenants, as you stand before your friends and families and loved ones under the watchful eyes of those in this arena who have served and are currently serving, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. That I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office I'm about to enter. So help me God. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the newest second lieutenants.
Okay, lieutenants, we'll let you sit down. Go sit down. Ladies and gentlemen, what you just witnessed is incredibly special. No institution in America does what we do to develop leaders who will go far from home and put their life on the line when the nation calls. So I'm incredibly grateful for the respect you showed these young people and their commitment to our freedom. And having been in their shoes, I will tell you, they very much appreciate you. Would you give them one more round of applause? My thanks to everyone who made this day so memorable and made it the best day ever. To our staff, our faculty, and all of you, our amazing families, who truly made this the best day ever. I just want to say thank you, and would you give yourselves a round of applause for being a great crowd today. This is the final moment. Graduates, lock in. One more minute and we're out of here, I promise. If you don't lock in, we're not out of here yet. Graduates, hear me in this. As you leave this arena today, you are going to hear narratives and voices. And they're everywhere in our society today. There are voices all over the place that you are going to hear. And they're going to tell you many things. Many people are mad right now. I say don't get mad, get motivated. I say take this opportunity and change it. And I also would like to reference the great poets, Public Enemy, when they said, don't believe the hype. Moms and dads in the room know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I got a little love over here. That's good. Now you know how old I am. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the narratives. Don't believe the voices. Graduates, you and every single one of us in this arena were created for purpose. And as you leave here today and you get up tomorrow morning, your job is to lock eyes with that purpose and walk toward it. And you're going to have many days that are hard, and let me be honest, that are just crappy. And you're going to have many great days. That's this journey we call life. And I will tell you from my experience that the place you're closest to the purpose is in the lowest of your moments. When you're in that lowest place, not on the mountaintop, it's when you're in the valley, you are going to know you're closest to your purpose. Doors will open, doors will close, struggles will be had, and you'll become closer to that. And what I want to challenge you with today as you leave here, you have a challenge before you because you are North Georgia. North Georgia builds leaders, period. That's what we do here. And graduates, the world today needs you to show up as a leader. Not because you have a bunch of words on a diploma. You heard from Derek Schiller today. Those don't really matter. Or you have a credential. What matters is that you show up as a leader, as a servant, as somebody that's willing to do hard things. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are in the most transformative moment in our lifetimes. And so today, this moment needs leaders. Leaders who will step up and serve. Leaders who will be motivated and not mad. Leaders who are willing to take on the challenges before us. And so graduates, I'm incredibly proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a great honor in what I get to do. I get to look everyone of them in the eye. And if I could only write a book about every one of the looks I got from these graduates today. You did something big, and you did it well, and it was hard. And I want you to go out of here walking toward that purpose. Lock eyes with it. Be a leader. Be a North Georgia leader, and you are going to change the world. I am incredibly proud of you, and I want you to go out and do great things, do hard things, and go change the world. Congratulations, Godspeed, and go Nighthawks. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our time has come to say goodbye. We're going to ask you, though, before we do, to please stand and join us in the singing of the University of North Georgia Alma Mater, led by Carolyn Barron. Ladies and gentlemen, the words are in your program, so I would encourage you to join in with us. Following the Alma Mater, let me give everyone a few instructions. Please remain in place for the graduate processional and honor the hard work of these graduates by standing for them. Family and guests, please exit to the way you came into the entrance and out onto the plaza. Graduates, please remain in your seats, and you'll be given direction from the ushers. Ladies and gentlemen, the North Georgia Alma Mater.